Hey friends, welcome to your reading. Today's reading is all about the topic, how will you make your money next? Today we'll dive into how you're meant to make money next, and not just any income, but aligned, soul-fueled income that honors your values, your energy, and this season of your life. Whether you're in a career shift, starting something new, or feeling unsure about how abundance is meant to flow to you next, this message is here to bring you clarity, confirmation, and calm. And just a quick announcement here, friends. I wanted to let you know that private readings are now open again, so if you feel called to get a more personalized reading from me, you can email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com. Again, that's tidaltarot808@gmail.com, and I will send you a menu of my services and pricing. This is the only way to book with me. Please be careful. Unfortunately, there are scammers out there pretending to be tarot readers. Just remember that I will never DM or private message you to sell you a reading. Okay, so let's dive into this pick a card reading. So if you are new to pick a cards, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with Lapis Lazuli. We have pile 2 here with Selenite. We have pile 3 here with Rose Quartz, and we have pile 4 here with Fluorite. Now you can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you're ready, go to the description of this video, find the timestamp that is linked to your pile, and then you can skip ahead to your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, friends, and I will see you on the other side. Hey pile 1, hey friends, welcome to your reading. So let's talk about the path or the method. We'll talk about how you will make your money next. Is it through a career change, a side hustle? Is it through a product or a promotion? Does it have anything to do with a spiritual or intuitive gift? We'll find out. So we have the Queen of Cups here, and this represents emotional intelligence. It can talk about intuition, caregiving, and having this creative flow. The Queen of Cups earns through compassion, through creativity, and through soulful connection. So pile 1, you might make your money through some sort of healing or creative based passion, maybe even through spiritual or intuitive work. I also wonder if some of you here may be doing some sort of work in like emotional or relational support, like coaching or therapy or content focused on personal growth, right? So like maybe for example here, some of you consider yourselves to be a spiritual guide who starts to offer personalized recorded tarot readings that blend intuitive insight with emotional support, and then you build a loyal clientele through word of mouth. Or maybe some of you here are stay-at-home moms who launch a self-care YouTube channel that feels like a cozy space for, their community, and you monetize through revenue and AdSense and affiliate links and sponsorships and brand deals and digital downloads. Or maybe some of you here want to be a creator who channels grief and healing into a poetry collection, right? Maybe you self-publish it on Etsy or on Gumroad, and then you end up creating this passive income stream through emotionally resonant work. We also have Protected by Angels. This one says you are cherished by the angels. So I feel like this card talks about divine timing, about having this unseen protection and being lovingly guided into alignment. So pile 1, you are not alone in this money-making phase. Maybe some of you here are being called to trust a soul nudge, even if it feels illogical. I think that this is you being supported through uncertain times until your path becomes clear. And I feel like maybe some of you here could be experiencing like a lucky break or these like meant to be meetings, right? Like maybe some of you here quit your job despite your fear, and then within weeks a dream client or opportunity comes up and the universe is affirming your leap. Or maybe some of you here decide to share your story on TikTok and your vulnerability resonates and it draws in community and financial support, right? Like Patreon or coaching offers or whatever it is. Maybe some of you here feel guided to create a product that you're unsure that anyone needs, but it unexpectedly meets a niche demand and it starts selling steadily. So next, let's talk about what's supporting you. We'll talk about any sort of hidden strengths. We'll talk about what inner wisdom or experiences or gifts are going to help this next phase unfold. So we have the High Priestess here, and this talks about your inner knowing, having that psychic insight and that wisdom gained through silence. Pile 1, you know it's right even without external validation. So I think you have deep strengths in having this deep intuitive insight or spiritual talent. I feel like you have this ability to hold space or guide others through uncertainty. Maybe some of you here can access divine downloads or visions and then transform them into offerings, right? Maybe some of you here quietly develop your own oracle deck, and it's based on personal spiritual experiences, and then you begin selling it online. Or maybe some of you here want to offer like an energy check-in in terms of a service for entrepreneurs or creatives, where you translate energetic or intuitive impressions into practical guidance. Maybe some of you here trust a gut instinct to pivot your business, and while it's subtle, it leads to more aligned clients and greater income. We also have moonbeams. This one says focus. So I feel like this card speaks to narrowing in on one soul aligned goal, right? No more multitasking, no more scattering your power, because your focus equals your magnetism. So pile 1, you are being supported by this laser sharp clarity and this emotional alignment. I don't know if any of you here have been feeling a divine nudge to stop doing everything and instead do that one thing that you've been feeling called to deeply. Because I feel like you have this ability to magnetize money by simply focusing on your unique gift. So maybe some of you here let go of multiple half-baked side hustles and you focus solely on your podcast, and then it leads you to brand collaborations and consistent ad revenue. Maybe some of you here have been doing readings or coaching or art, but your Instagram reels on intuitive parenting go viral, and then you pour into that lane and eventually you launch a course. Or maybe some of you here stop chasing freelance gigs and instead you build your own membership around spiritual creativity, and then your energy becomes magnetic. So next, let's get a money flow forecast. We'll get a snapshot of the next 3 to 6 months, and we'll talk about the vibe of your finances as this unfolds. We'll talk about any timing or practical insights or spiritual nudges. So we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse here. So pile 1, there's this sense of impatience, this shifting direction, or really planting the seeds in new soil. With this, I feel like maybe money, maybe you haven't seen it like, arrive instantly, but just know that you're making key adjustments now. So maybe this represents a pivot in your strategy where you've been investing your energy or your resources or your time or your money, right? Maybe this looks like you walking away from slow returns to try something more aligned, right? Maybe you've seen your money build a little bit slower than you've liked, but the momentum is possible with persistence, right? You are seeing the fruits of your labor. So maybe some of you here realize that your Etsy shop or your Shopify shop isn't working as expected, so you pivot to workshops or services instead, and then it begins gaining traction. Or maybe some of you here stop waiting for your YouTube channel to blow up, and instead you create these pre-recorded reading libraries, and then it gives you this immediate income, right? I'm just throwing out different examples here. Or maybe some of you here have planted spiritual seeds for years, and your online presence is quiet, but it's trusted. And then you offer a mentorship and you make more in 3 months than you ever did last year, right? We also have second house. This one says resources. So in astrology, in the natal chart, in your birth chart, the second house is about earned income. It's about values. It's about security, and it's about self-worth. So I feel like this confirms that money is going to come from something that you create or offer personally, right? So maybe your money is going to come from using your talents or your voice or your gifts directly. Maybe it's going to come from you prioritizing what you value and not what society says is secure, right? Maybe you're going to manage your money consciously, right? Like maybe you start a budget or a new pricing model, or you shift into ownership of your worth, right? So for example, maybe some of you here create a sliding scale pricing structure for your readings or your services, and clients pay more than expected because they sense your worth. Or maybe some of you here sell a digital journaling guide for emotional healing, and then you realize that the residual income adds up monthly. Maybe some of you here begin tracking every dollar and aligning your spending with what you value, and then suddenly money flows more freely to you because you're no longer leaking your energy. Next, let's get some words of wisdom from future you or from your higher self. So we have the 9 of Pentacles here, and with this is all about financial independence. It's about self-sufficiency, right? It's this life where your hard work is paid off. It's something that you can look back on with pride, knowing that you built this. So I feel like your future self is telling you that you're going to reach a point when you no longer need to hustle. Your intuition and your devotion are going to create long-term wealth and peace for you, right? Things like luxury, having time in nature, and having this ability to celebrate yourself are your birthright. Maybe future you wants you to know that you're going to be working from home, doing, for example, like tarot readings or intuitive readings, and then you're going to be sipping tea in your garden, and your life is going to be spacious and paid for. Or maybe future you is letting you know that your digital course is going to sell passively, and that you only need to work a few hours a week where you can spend more time with your family. Or maybe some of you here have built a niche spiritual business and clients come to you and you've raised your prices and you still have a wait list. We also have the leader, sun, and this one says, I lead from the heart. So there's a bunch of descriptors down here. I feel like these are your natural abilities, pile 1. So pile 1, you are confident, brilliant, purposeful, courageous, committed, authentic, positive, inspiring, passionate, empowered, visionary, vital, integrous, and trustworthy. So with this, I feel like you are going to shine when you own your gifts unapologetically, right? The sun card is reminding you to stop dimming. It's reminding you that your worth is tied to leading others from your unique truth. So pile 1, maybe you're going to make your money by being seen as a thought leader or a guide or a source of light. Maybe you're going to be creating platforms or content that educates and uplifts and challenges people to do better, right? Maybe some of you here are going to be trusting your charisma and your visibility, whether you're a podcaster or a coach or a YouTuber or a mystic or whatever it is. So for example, maybe some of you here start like a money and magic Substack and you share your personal stories and intuitive guidance, and it grows organically and your paid subscribers begin to fund your freedom, right? Or maybe you finally start a workshop on intuitive development and your voice becomes the centerpiece and people keep coming back for you. Or maybe some of you here show up on Instagram stories daily, right? Or TikTok daily or whatever it is daily, and you share real heart-centered takes on self-worth and money, and your audience turns into buyers because they trust your leadership. So overall here, pile 1, I feel like you're going to make your money through that emotional, intuitive, creative side that you have. You are absolutely protected beyond measure, right? You are divinely supported to take whatever leap that you've been called to. I think with the High Priestess and this focus here, focus intuition is going to be your superpower, right? This is your sign to go deeper, not wider. I think that you'll see some shifts in your income with practical pivots and when you continue to align with your values and what you want to be doing. And I also think that financial independence is going to come through your heart-led leadership and through you being visible. So the final thing I want to do here is I would love to get a book divination from the book Less is More, 101 Ways to Simplify Your Life by Dominique Bertolucci. I will have this linked for you in the description if you feel called to check this book out. But let's find out what else pile 1 needs to know for their highest and best good. Okay. All that children need is love, a grown-up to take responsibility for them, and a soft place to land. Deborah Harkness. Give them your love. Don't worry about buying your children the latest toys or gadgets for your children. Children don't need a lot of money spent on them. What they do need is priceless. Your time, patience, comfort, and love. As long as you are giving your children these essentials, you are giving them everything you need. I love this. I feel like this is also like just a reminder that it doesn't matter what exactly you have right now, like in your pockets monetarily. All that matters is your energy, your vibe, the love that you give out, right? And just know that by you being love, by you embodying love, that love comes back to you tenfold, right? So thank you so much, pile 1. I hope that this reading brought you peace and clarity and a little spark of motivation to trust your path, even if it looks different from what you expected. Remember that money doesn't just have to be earned. It can be aligned and easeful and even joyful. So thank you for being here, friends. Remember that your energy matters and that your dreams are valid and you are absolutely worthy of wealth that feels good to you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If this message resonated, I would love to hear your insights in the comments. If you are craving more personalized guidance, I am now offering private tarot readings again. To book, just email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com. That's TIDALTAROT808@gmail.com, and I will send over my current menu of services and pricing. Please note that this is the only way to book with me. I will never DM, message, or email you trying to sell you a reading. Sadly, there are scammer accounts out there, so please be safe and protect your energy. If you do feel called to check out my podcast, the That's Deep podcast, where I share how to co-create your dream life through personal growth tools and spiritual wisdom, or if you're into crystals or pretty things to support your shift, I have both my podcast and my online shop linked below for you in the description. I'm sending you so much love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hey, pile 2. Hi, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about the path or method. We'll talk about how you will make money next. Is it through a career change? Is it through a side hustle? Is it through a product, a promotion, or a spiritual or intuitive gift? So we have death in reverse here. So this is about resisting an inevitable change. It can talk about clinging to an old identity or being in transition. I feel like a rebirth wants to happen for you, Pile 2, but something needs to be released first, like an old job or a role or a way of earning or even a mindset about money. So in terms of how you'll make your money next, maybe it's going to be through letting go of some sort of like safe or outdated income source. It could be through a career pivot, not just a tweak. And it could be through possibly returning to a passion that you once thought was over. So for example, maybe some of you here keep trying to revive your current business model, but nothing is sticking, right? Like you finally surrender and you shift into something completely new, like starting a product line only after doing services, right? Or some of you here might be realizing that your fear of failure is keeping you stuck in a job that you've outgrown, right? Like maybe you finally apply for a new path, or you teach spiritual entrepreneurship, for example, and then everything shifts. Or maybe some of you here stop clinging to your past brand identity and then you reemerge with bold new offers, like maybe going from lifestyle blogger to shadow work coach. And we also have great adventure. This one says take a risk, venture forward. So I feel like this is a huge nudge for you to step out of your comfort zone, right? Leap, pitch yourself, and say yes to the thing that makes your heart race. I really do feel like you're going to make money by going on a creative or a professional quest, right? Or trusting a big, scary yes that feels expansive. Maybe this is you even literally or metaphorically traveling, right? I think movement is key here. I think that maybe some of you here might sign up to speak at a retreat or an event, and maybe your presence is going to draw in new clients or collaborations. Or maybe some of you here finally launched your long dreamed of course or digital product, and even though you feel unready, it takes off, right? Or maybe you start a series on your TikTok or your YouTube that is very raw and unfiltered, and then it goes viral and it becomes your next income stream. So next, let's talk about what's supporting you. We'll talk about any sort of hidden strengths that are here and what inner wisdom or experiences or gifts are helping this next phase to unfold. So we have the Three of Cups here, and this is all about your joy and your community and your creative allies being your strength. This card reminds you that you don't have to go it alone. This card reminds you that you don't have to do it all by yourself. Your success is going to be anchored in fun and connection and shared energy. So Pile 2, I feel like your strength lies in magnetic community building is what I'm feeling. Like having people who uplift and promote you, and really celebrating your wins out loud and sharing your journey with others. So maybe some of you here want to host a monthly virtual circle where everyone shares business wins and one connection leads you to your next paid gig. Or maybe some of you here collab with a friend on a joint workshop and you split your profits and both of your audiences grow. Or maybe some of you here throw a launch party live stream for your new offering and people join simply because they feel your joy and that sense of belonging. We also have new moon beginnings, and so I feel like this card confirms that you're not continuing something old, you're actually birthing something completely new, right? So this is about planting a seed that will grow steadily if you nurture it. So I feel like you're being supported by a clean slate, by the ability to manifest with clarity and emotion, and also you're being supported by this hope and this renewed enthusiasm, Pile 2. Right? So for example, maybe you've never offered an ebook or a downloadable guide, but now it's the time, and you channel your passion into a product and you finally feel like you're building something of your own. Or maybe some of you here launch a YouTube channel or a website from scratch and it's not tied to anything old, and the freedom to be authentic brings you financial results. Or maybe some of you here create a whole new income stream that aligns with your new identity, right? Like maybe you go from marketing assistant to dream career mentor. So next, let's talk about your money flow forecast. We'll get a snapshot of your next 3 to 6 months, and we'll talk about what the vibe is of your finances as this unfolds. Is there any timing or practical insights or spiritual nudges for you to look out for? We have the Ace of Swords here, and so this represents a breakthrough, a moment where you get this crystal clarity. I feel like a powerful idea or a truth is going to slice through the confusion and it's going to point you in the right way. So Money may start to flow for you from a sharp new idea, maybe from clear, honest communication, maybe like content creation or copywriting or speaking. I also feel like a mental or spiritual breakthrough may redefine how you see wealth as well. Like maybe some of you here write a powerful post or an email that shares your truth, and then it leads you to more bookings or sales or aligned opportunities. Maybe some of you here get a download for a business name or a niche, and as soon as you implement it, energy and money begins to flow again. Or maybe some of you here stop doing what others expect and you boldly pitch your way of solving a problem, and clients love it and they start paying you for it. We also have Uranus. This one says change. So this represents sudden shifts, innovation, disruption. So maybe money will come through unexpected or unconventional paths. This is your sign to be flexible, pile 2. I think that you can expect financial surprises, right? Ones that will lead to your growth. I think you can also expect maybe tech, digital, or online tools being a part of your next method. I also think this represents creative or rebellious thinking, getting you rewarded. So for example, maybe you experiment with AI tools or new platforms and they help you scale or automate a product that you didn't think was scalable, right? Or maybe it makes your work more efficient. Maybe some of you have a collaboration or an affiliate program that you casually joined and it suddenly pays out and it changes your whole month's income. Or maybe some of you here have been through a difficult situation where you lost one source of income, but then it pushes you to finally offer something of your own and it fills the gap faster than you expected. So let's get some words of wisdom from future you and from your higher self. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse here. And so this card reminds you to not base your wealth vision on picture perfect ideals, right? Because fulfillment is emotional, not aesthetic. And so your future self is content, but maybe it won't look like what you once imagined, right? So future you is saying it's okay to redefine success, right? It's okay if it doesn't match what you were taught to want. I think this also is reminding you that real happiness comes from connection and meaning and alignment and not so much image, right? This is also a reminder to not compare your journey to other people, right? Like for example, maybe you thought you'd need a 6-figure income to feel secure, but now you make less and you live more freely and creatively and joyfully, and you're doing just fine, right? Or maybe you live in a smaller home, but you have more peace because you're not burning out for appearances, right? Like maybe instead of living in a mansion in Texas, you live in a beach cottage in the islands of Hawaii, right? And you're loving it because you get to step out into the beach every single day. Or maybe some of you here leave a secure job that gave you burnout, but then you realize that deep contentment came from your risky leap. We also have the collaborator moon, and it says, I co-create to create. We have a bunch of descriptors down here, so I feel like this is your natural talents, pile 2. Pile 2, you are cooperative, receptive, connective, supportive, curious, empathetic, responsible, insightful, accepting, inclusive, reliable, and co-creative. So this card is all about emotional intelligence in relationships. It can talk about shared vision and also this feminine energy. So I feel like your power is in soft influence and partnering with others to bring life to things. I feel like future you makes money through emotional resonance and co-creation. Future you makes money by joining forces with others rather than doing it all solo. And I also think that future you makes money through receptivity and intuition and building with aligned partners or community. So for example, maybe some of you here launch a creative circle or a group program with a trusted friend, and the shared energy creates a much larger impact and income. Or maybe some of you here join a content creator collab or summit and suddenly people know your name. Or maybe some of you here partner with someone on a product or a service and you handle intuitive guidance and they handle the logistics, and together you thrive. So overall here, pile 2, I feel like you are going to make your money through a big shift, right? Through letting go of the old and taking some sort of brave leap. Just remember that you are supported by joyful, soul-aligned people in a fresh beginning. And remember that when you add your breakthrough ideas with those unexpected changes, that's when your money flow is going to open fast, is what I'm feeling. So pile 2, allow yourself to redefine your dream and to let community and co-creation lead you to things like emotional and financial fulfillment. So next, I want to do a book divination from the book Less is More, 101 Ways to Simplify Your Life by Dominique Bertolucci. I'll have this linked for you in the description if you feel called to check it out later. But what else does pile 2 need to know for their highest and best good today? Okay, it says, I would rather my heart be without words than my words be without heart. Lamar Boschman? Be a quiet comfort. We are all faced with situations in life where it's hard to know what the right thing is to say to someone. But if you don't know what to say, say so. Being honest about your loss for words is so much more comforting than opening your mouth and letting any words that come up to you spill out to just fill the space. Interesting. I wonder if you'll make your money next through being a quiet comfort to other people, being that safe place, being that container for other people to have their feelings be out there authentically. Maybe this is you also spending time in quiet to listen to the inner wisdom that's trying to make its way to you. So yes, thank you so much, Pile 2. I really do hope that this reading brought you peace and clarity and a little spark of motivation to trust your path, even if it looks different from what you expected. Remember that money doesn't have to be just earned. It can also be aligned and easeful and even joyful. So thank you so much for being here, friends. Remember that your energy matters, your dreams are valid, and you are absolutely worthy of wealth that feels good to you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If this message resonated, I'd love to hear your insights in the comments. If you are craving more one-to-one personal guidance, I'm now offering private tarot readings again, so if you'd like to book with me, just email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com. Again, that is tidaltarot808@gmail.com, and I will send over my current menu of services and pricing. Please note that this is the only way to book with me, and I will never DM, message, or email you trying to sell you a reading. Sadly, there are scammer accounts out there impersonating tarot readers, so please stay safe and protect your energy. If you feel called to tune into my podcast, the That's Deep podcast, where I share how to co-create your dream life through personal growth tools and spiritual wisdom, or if you're into crystals or pretty things to support your shift, I have both my podcast and my online shop linked for you below in the description. I'm sending you so much love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hey, Pile 3. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about the path or the method. We'll talk about how you'll make it. We'll talk about whether this is through a career change, a side hustle, maybe a product or a promotion, or maybe a spiritual or intuitive gift. So we have the Three of Swords in reverse here, and this talks about emotional healing, talks about moving on from pain or disappointment and transforming heartbreak into purpose. So I feel like your money is going to come as a byproduct of either emotional integration or healing work, right? Either your own or through helping others process theirs. So Pile 3, you'll make your money through turning pain into purpose. Maybe through supporting others in their emotional healing, whether this is in coaching or storytelling or art or tarot or whatever it is, right? Maybe this is you pivoting after a disappointment, right? Like a layoff or a breakup or burnout and into something a lot more aligned for you. Maybe some of you here find that after you leave a toxic workplace, you decide to coach or mentor people who are navigating burnout, and then you end up creating a sustainable side hustle. Or maybe some of you here share your healing journey through a blog or through a YouTube series, and eventually you monetize through affiliate links or offerings or a digital product of some sort. Maybe some of you here start selling guided meditations or grief support tools or journaling prompts that are inspired by your own emotional breakthroughs. We also have Wandering Path, enjoy the journey. So I feel like this is the card that invites us to surrender to the unknown. Pile 3, your income journey, it probably won't be linear. I feel like all of our income journeys here, they're never really linear, right? It's more about curiosity and experimentation and evolving passions. So I feel like you're going to make your money through following a non-traditional or winding path, right? It's going to be about remaining flexible and open to new directions, right? Some of you here might be building income streams that reflect different passions over time, right? Like maybe some of you here begin offering mini tarot readings, and then you start an Etsy shop for spiritual tools, and each step feels like a surprise turn, but it all flows. Or maybe some of you here start a blog about your healing journey, which turns into a book and then into courses, and then it evolves naturally. Or maybe some of you freelance part-time and you experiment with digital products, and eventually you land a recurring income stream, even though it took detours for you to get there. So next, let's talk about what's supporting you. We'll talk about any hidden strengths and what inner wisdom or experiences or gifts that are helping this next phase to unfold. We have the Emperor here, and this is all about structure, discipline, authority. Pile 3, you are supported by your ability to build systems, to stay organized, and to take your goals seriously, even if your emotional energy is swirling, right? You have this grounded leader-like capacity within you. So I feel like your strength lies in being your own boss, even emotionally is what I'm hearing. This is also about you taking control of your money strategy and really creating foundations for long-term growth. So maybe some of you here create a detailed launch plan for your intuitive business and you stick to deadlines and you show up consistently. Maybe some of you here take an emotional healing idea and you turn it into a program with modules and structure and clear transformation points. Or maybe some of you here map out a year-long content plan or saving strategy and you give yourself predictability and peace. So we also have Dark Moon here. This one says clear your energy. So I feel like this talks about releasing any lingering emotional or energetic baggage, especially around feelings of failure or rejection or old wounds that are related to visibility or success or money. Pile 3, remember that you are supported by a fresh energetic reset, right? You're supported by shadow work, by your inner child healing, and by boundary setting. This is time for you to let go of roles that don't serve you. Maybe some of you here energetically cut ties with an old business identity and you feel free to create an offer that actually excites you. Maybe some of you here clear out your workspace and you raise your prices or you declutter your offerings and then your income rises with your clarity. Maybe some of you here stop dimming yourself to avoid criticism and people respond to your raw, real presence by buying or booking with you. So let's talk about your money flow forecast. We'll get a snapshot of the next 3 to 6 months. We'll get a vibe for your finances as this unfolds. And we'll talk about any timing, practical insights, or spiritual nudges for you to look out for. So we have the King of Cups here. And this is a very calm, emotionally mature, steady energy. So I feel like financial stability is going to come through your emotional intelligence, through things like caregiving, through things like creativity, especially if your work holds space for others. So Pile 3, I feel like your money will flow from holding emotional space for yourself and for others, right? Whether this is through coaching or teaching or healing or spiritual work. This is all about you having consistency and empathy in your offers because you really do have this beautiful grounded presence that people feel safe paying for, right? It's authentic. So maybe some of you here offer intuitive mentorships, right? You have this calm demeanor and this emotional support that can become your brand and people will return to work with you. I feel like many of you here are going to build a reputation for emotional trust and having this wise guidance, which is going to lead you to high value repeat clients. Maybe some of you here create this very calming course or guided meditation bundle or some sort of support space and your energy sells it as much as the content does. We also have 6th house, sustainability. So in astrology, right, in your birth chart, in your natal chart, the 6th house governs work, habits, routines, long-term service. So this confirms that your next money phase is steady and grounded and built for the long haul, not just a quick hit. So I feel like you can expect income from something that you do regularly, whether this is clients or digital updates. Maybe this is you having support through routines or schedules or daily service. And I also think that you're going to refine how you work and not just what you do. So for example, maybe you create a Monday morning energy forecast email where you build a weekly rhythm that really keeps clients engaged and eventually it pays off with a subscription. Maybe you offer a 3-month coaching package and the long-term structure creates recurring income and depth for you. Or maybe some of you here start a daily journaling or art practice that evolves into products like printable tools or prompts that sell on Etsy. Next, let's get some words of wisdom from your future self or from your higher self. We have the Lovers in reverse here. So this card can talk about inner misalignment or the need to choose yourself over obligation. So I feel like your future self wants you to stop outsourcing your values or your priorities. Future you is telling you that your success is going to come once you stop choosing others over yourself. Future you is reminding you that money flows best when you're fully aligned with your values. right? It's this reminder that it's okay to not partner with people or clients or passions that don't feel like a true yes to you. Maybe some of you here stop working with a client who drains you, and then within weeks a new client arrives who matches your energy and they pay more. Or maybe you choose not to collab on something that doesn't fully feel aligned, and then you end up creating a solo project that brings in more money and peace. Maybe this is you leaving behind expectations of what your career should look like, and instead you finally feel successful on your own terms. We also have the organizer, Saturn. Everything has its rightful place. We have a bunch of descriptors down here. So pile 3, you are naturally patient, practical, truthful, committed, steadfast, orderly, reliable, considerate, consistent, disciplined, systematic, instinctual, careful, detailed, discerning, and rational. So I feel like this is going to reflect your mastery coming through things like structure and time and dedication. Your future self is thriving because you organized your energy, your finances, your time, and your offerings intentionally, pile 3. I feel like you will thrive financially through systems and structure that protect your energy. I feel like you're going to thrive through long-term planning and automation. And you're also going to thrive when you get clarity on where your time and your money and your energy go. So maybe some of you here use Notion or Airtable to manage your content calendar or your finances or your tasks, and then the clarity leads to consistent income. Maybe some of you here develop a signature client process or framework so that each session or product is replicable or sustained and aligned. Maybe some of you here automate recurring payments or email sequences or booking systems, and it allows you more space and higher revenue with less hustle. So overall here, pile 3, I feel like you will make your money next through emotional healing that inspires this beautiful soul-led path. Right? Maybe it's not linear, but it's rich with growth and purpose. I feel like you're going to be supported by structure and discipline and this powerful clearing of the old so that you can claim your authority, pile 3. And I feel like with you having that steady emotional intelligence and that consistency, that is what's going to equal your dependable income. So remember to say no to misaligned opportunities, and when you organize your energy and your systems, you're going to free your power and you're going to welcome in more peace and prosperity. So let's get a book divination from the book Less is More, 101 Ways to Simplify Your Life by Dominique Bertolucci. I'll have this linked for you in the description if you feel called. Let's find out what else pile 3 needs to know for their highest and best good today. Okay. That's what people who you love do. They put their arms around you and love you when you're not so lovable. Deb Coletti. Love unconditionally. It's easy to love someone who is behaving in a lovable way, but it's when they're not being quite so lovable that they really need it. Love all the people in your life for all that they are and with all of your heart. Loving unconditionally is the only real way to love. I love that. I think this also speaks to you loving yourself unconditionally, right? No matter the experiences or the setbacks or the trials or the tribulations that you've been through, they weren't failure. Right? They were feedback. They were lessons. You are more resilient than you know. And so I feel like this is your call to love yourself unconditionally. And it's almost about like self-worth, right? When you love yourself unconditionally, you are telling yourself that you are worth everything and anything, right? Just by being you. And I honestly think that is when you become more magnetic to money and income and things flowing to you, is when you believe that you are worthy of receiving this, of having it, of keeping it, right? So yes, I do hope that this reading brought you more peace, more clarity, and a little spark of motivation to trust your path, pile 3, even if it looks different from what you expected. Remember that money doesn't just have to be earned, it can be aligned, easeful, and even joyful. So thank you for being here. Your energy matters, pile 3. Remember that your dreams are valid and that you are absolutely worthy of wealth that feels good to you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If this message resonated, I would love to hear your insights in the comments. If you're craving more personalized guidance, I am now offering private tarot readings again. To book, just email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I will send you over my current menu of services. Again, it is tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I will send over my current menu of services and pricing. Please note that this is the only way to book with me. I will never DM or message or email you trying to sell you a reading. Sadly, there are scammer accounts out there, so please stay safe and protect your energy. If you do feel called to tune into my podcast, or if you're into crystals or pretty things to support your shift, I do have a podcast and an online shop. I have those linked for you in the description below. I'm sending you so much love, Tidal fam. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hey, Pile 4. Hi, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about the path or the method. We'll talk about how you will make your money next. Is it through a career change? Is it through a side hustle? Is it through a product, a promotion, or a spiritual or intuitive gift? We will find out. So we have the Knight of Swords in reverse here. And so this energy speaks to mental burnout, rushing without direction, or being scattered and reactive. When the Knight of Swords is in reverse, it calls for strategic slowing down so that you can act from wisdom and not panic. So Pile 4, I think that you're going to make your money by not hustling harder, but by pulling back and by regaining clarity and refining your direction. Maybe you'll make money through rewriting your relationship to urgency and pressure. And I also feel like you'll make your money through pivoting from scattered multitasking to a focused, value-driven message or offer. So I feel like maybe some of you here will stop chasing clients across multiple platforms, and instead you're going to streamline everything into one focused offer, right? Like a 6-week program or whatever it looks like for you. But I feel like you're just going to kind of hone in your focus. Maybe some of you here will take a break from content creation and you'll come back with a clear, resonant new message, and then your audience will respond with bookings or sales or whatever it is, right? Maybe some of you here are going to pivot away from fast cash projects, and instead you're going to build through thoughtful digital products, right? Like a guided workbook or a course that becomes evergreen. So we also have answering the call. The time is now. So this card screams divine timing. Whatever you've been avoiding or delaying or doubting, Pile 4, it's go time, right? So you're going to make your money by saying yes to the opportunity that you keep thinking you're not ready for. I feel like you're going to make money when you trust your inner nudge to launch or apply or to create now, even if the conditions aren't perfect, right? Maybe some of you here are going to move past imposter syndrome and you're going to realize that you're already equipped. Maybe some of you here finally offer those one-to-one services publicly, even if your website isn't perfect, and then the first client books in days. Maybe some of you here answer a soul calling to create a digital course on intuitive boundaries, and then the launch generates momentum quickly. Maybe some of you here pitch yourself for a collaboration or a podcast, and it opens new doors that you couldn't have even imagined. So next, let's talk about what's supporting you. We'll talk about any hidden strengths and what inner wisdom or experiences or gifts are helping this next phase to unfold. So we have Justice here, and with this card represents having this wisdom through lived experience. You can talk about discernment, having this integrity, right? You can talk about truth. So I feel like you are deeply supported by your ability to see clearly, to speak honestly, and to make aligned decisions even when they're hard. So I feel like your strength lies in holding truth and fairness and balance. I think it also is going to lie in having clear boundaries with money and clients and time and energy. And you also have a natural strength in being willing to say the thing that no one else wants to say, right? Like truth telling is your superpower. Maybe some of you here craft a new business policy or a boundary that protects your time and attracts more respectful, aligned clients. Or maybe some of you here share honest, balanced commentary on a topic in your niche, and it attracts followers who respect your integrity. Or maybe some of you here use your story of overcoming inequality or burnout to inspire and educate others, where you turned your lived experience into service. We also have the moon's wisdom, take the lead. So I feel like while the moon is typically soft and internal, this card invites you to combine your intuition with action, right? Like I feel like you've been shown the path and now it's time for you to lead others through it. So Pile 4, I feel like you are supported by this deep inner knowing and this ability to guide others through emotional or intuitive terrain. I think this is also you leading from the shadows, right? Like your story or your pain or your transformation becomes the map. I feel like this is also you embodying your wisdom and not waiting for external validation. So maybe, for example, some of you create a paid masterclass or a course around a journey that you've lived, right? Like spiritual awakening or breaking free from people pleasing or leaving a toxic partner or whatever it is, right? And you offer coaching or readings or workshops that center on helping others trust themselves or trust their own intuition, right? And you own that expertise. Maybe some of you here launch a platform or a podcast or a Substack or a series where you lead with emotion and inner truth, and it ends up attracting a devoted audience. So next, let's get your money flow forecast. We'll get a snapshot of your next 3 to 6 months and what the vibe of your finances are as this unfolds. And we'll get any timing, practical insights, or spiritual nudges to look out for. So we have the Queen of Swords here, and this is clear, intellectual, and refined energy. So pile 1, you are becoming precise in your communication and your boundaries, and I feel like that sharpness is what is going to attract money to you. And maybe you may not feel soft or emotional during this period, but you will feel respected and recognized and trusted. I feel like money is going to flow through you communicating with clarity, right? Whether this is written or spoken or visual. I also think it's going to come through you establishing strong systems and policies, right? It's going to also come through you having this authority in your voice and really sharing truths that resonate deeply with others. So maybe some of you here start a YouTube or a Substack that's focused on no BS spiritual or business guidance, and people flock to your clarity and your insight. Or maybe some of you here create a pricing guide or a client contract or an onboarding process, and your professionalism increases the trust and the referrals that are coming your way. Maybe some of you here launch a lead magnet or a freebie or some sort of digital product where it feels clean and smart and highly useful, and it draws in repeat customers. We also have square, semi-square, and quincunx. So it says tension here. So these astrological aspects represent productive friction. Maybe some of you here have felt like you faced obstacles or internal resistance, but just know that they're guiding you to innovate and align and to problem solve. For those of you who have been through a rough period, know that this is going to be transformative for you. Right? So maybe whatever challenges you've been through, they required strategy or mindset shifts that are super valuable for you now. Or maybe some of you have been through some sort of breakthrough that came through wrestling with doubt or discomfort, right? Or maybe there's this tension between old patterns and new opportunities. For example, maybe some of you here launched your first offer and maybe it didn't sell in the way that you thought it would. So then you refined your message, and then the second version just blows everything out of the water and it's beautiful and successful. Maybe some of you here felt major resistance before you showed up online, but when you ultimately did, it led to your first high-ticket client. Maybe some of you here experienced tech or logistical problems, but then it forced you to streamline and automate in a way that eventually made life easier. So next, let's get some words of wisdom from future you or your higher self. We have the 9 of Wands in reverse here. And so this is the almost there card, right? But in reverse, it talks about burnout or defensiveness, or maybe even pushing too hard. So your future self is saying that you don't have to fight for everything. It's okay to choose peace and pacing, right? So future you is saying that you don't have to carry all of your old wounds into your new money chapter. Your future self is reminding you that you can trust your audience or your team or your higher self to support you, right? You're not alone, pile 4. Future you is also reminding you to let go of the identity of the struggler or the underdog. Like, I remember the other day I was like in the comments in TikTok, and somebody was like, you know what's actually worked for me, like with this whole manifestation process, is me just like rewriting my story. Like, in fact, I was never broke. In fact, I was never from a toxic family. Like, I mean, of course we don't have to like gaslight ourselves, but once you've processed what you need to process, you can assume a new reality, right? When you're trying to manifest. So start playing with like, money loves me. Life is not hard. Life is easy. It flows. It's effortless. If anything good is going to happen, it's going to happen to me, right? Those types of things. But yeah, I feel like maybe some of you here will stop over explaining your worth, and I feel like your ideal clients are going to pay without hesitation. Or maybe some of you here stop taking rejection personally, and you're going to pivot with curiosity instead of defeat. Or maybe some of you here are going to set a goal to only work 20 hours a week, and you're going to intentionally design your business to support your rest. We also have the celebrity. This one says sun. I lead with my light. We have a bunch of descriptors down here. So pile 4, you are naturally charismatic, imaginative, luminous, confident, authentic, inspiring, passionate, magnetic, impactful, public, fashionable, independent, noble, generous, and unique. So I feel like this card calls you to be visible, radiant, and unapologetically you. I feel like your future self thrives because you stopped hiding, you stopped people pleasing, and you allowed your authentic presence to lead the way. So pile 4, I feel like your money is tied to being seen. I feel like your money is tied to leading with authenticity and magnetism and truth. And I also feel like it's going to come through having confidence in your natural gifts without over explaining yourself and without apology. So maybe you go all in on your content and you share your journey and your personality and your insights, and it builds a very highly engaged audience. Or maybe you allow yourself to be the face of your business and your visibility attracts aligned collaborations and clients. Maybe some of you here create a course or a live event or a series that is purely you, and people buy because they trust your energy and brilliance. So overall here, pile 4, I feel like you will make money next by putting an end to the rushing and the doubting. You just have to know that your moment is here, but that the success is going to come from grounded, conscious action. I feel like it's also important to remember to lead with truth and clarity and intuitive wisdom, right? You are the authority now, pile 4. I also feel like financial growth is going to come from refining, communicating, and really staying steady through tension or resistance. And remember that you no longer need to push so hard. Let your visibility and your confidence and your alignment guide your way. So let's get a book divination from the book Less is More, 101 Ways to Simplify Your Life by Dominique Bertolucci. So let's get more info for pile 4. What do they need to know? Okay, so motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Jim Ryan. Create good habits. You don't need a lot of motivation to exercise regularly. All you need is enough motivation to keep you going until your new habit kicks in. After all, it's no harder to create good habits than it is bad. Interesting. So maybe this is you creating more structure in your life, right? Maybe this is you being more discerning about what deserves your energy and what doesn't, right? What is adding to your resources and what is draining your life force or your resources, right? What sort of boundaries, what sort of habits should you put in place so that you can thrive, right? So that your future you thanks you for the decisions that you've made today that has helped them thrive tomorrow, you know? Thank you so much, pal, for I hope that this reading brought you peace and clarity and a little spark of motivation to trust your path, even if it looks different from what you expected. Remember that money doesn't just have to be earned. It can be aligned and easeful and even joyful. So thank you for being here. Remember that your energy matters, that your dreams are valid, and that you are absolutely worthy of wealth that feels good to you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tidal Tarot if you want more intuitive guidance like this. If this message resonated, I would love to hear your insights in the comments. And if you've been craving more personalized guidance, I am now offering private tarot readings again. To book, just email me at tidaltarot808@gmail.com and I will send over my current menu of services and pricing. Please note that this is the only way to book with me. I will never DM or message or email you trying to sell you a reading. Sadly, there are scammer accounts out there impersonating tarot readers, so please be safe and protect your energy. If you feel called to tune into my podcast, the That's Deep podcast, where I share how to co-create your dream life through personal growth tools and spiritual wisdom, or if you're into crystals or pretty things to support your shift, I do have my podcast and my online shop linked for you below in the description. I'm sending you so much love, friends. I appreciate your time today, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, Tidal fam. Love you.